So Pinnacle is at it again. He has called me, I think 5 times, maybe six, wanting to call it truths, and claimed he would remove everything about me off his channel. I agreed to do the same if he did too, but so now he's making videos, but he's just not mentioning my name. I mean, he's still talking about me, but he's not mentioning my name. So this ACAT system, he didn't have a lot to say about it when I asked him about it. So he posted a video and the seeker done some investigating. So y'all just watch this video right here of the seeker breaking down how ACAT's not even real.
What's going on, guys? This is Seeker here, and I just want to make another video about Pinnacle Credit Repair and his ACAT system. Now, he released a short this morning talking about ACAT. Well, he's showing some code about ACAT, and we're going to break that down here in just a second. Now, according to Pinnacle, and this is Pinnacle's channel, you can see it down here at the very bottom, it's Pinnacle Credit Repair. According to him, he says ACAT is artificial intelligence, AI. I forget exactly what the acronyms of ACAT is. Something like Artificial Credit Analyst Technology or something like that. He claims that his AI system will analyze a credit report and determine the best way to dispute it and then automatically file that dispute for you. But that's not exactly what this is based on what he's showing. Now, there's a couple of red flags with this video, and I'm going to go ahead and do a deep dive into that. If you notice at the very bottom, he has a DOS prompt, and at his DOS prompt, he is pinging pinnaclecreditrepair.com. Why? I have no idea. But for those who are not computer savvy, what ping is basically you're sending 4 packets of data to the website, it turns around, and it comes back. It's very good to measure the latency, the lag, whether or not there's a broken connection somewhere, whether the computer that you're using can even reach that server if you're in the networking world. But in this case, he sends 32 bytes of data. It took 320 milliseconds on average, and the time to live is a 118. In fact, if you go to this IP address 35.190.31.54, it's probably going to pull up pinnaclecreditrepair.com because that is the IP address of where that physical website is located. Why does this DOS prompt have anything to do with ACAT? I don't know. But it does tell me a little bit about his knowledge. And the reason why I say that is because if you go down a little bit further, he tries to ping transunion.com credit disputes, dispute your credit. Now, obviously, it could not find the host. And that's true because if you know anything about way ping works and what ping is used for, we know that the full URL is not the host. The URL to the website is not the host. The host is transunion.com or creditrepair.com. That's where you're actually making the connection. The request actually pulls in the page, whether you want credit dispute.html or dispute my credit.php, whatever page you're trying to pull, that is the request, not the full URL. But I digress. So let's go look at the top here. Now, the top section of this short is basically Python. Now, I think he says this is proprietary information, but what confuses me is in green it says example.com/form, desired web page with a form. Now, all this Python script is showing is that he's pulling a web page, he's grabbing the form off of it, he's automatically finding the element by name, which is violation count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then he finds the submit button, and then he fills in that form, and then he automatically submits it. And we can run through that real quick. Let's play a little bit of his video. Okay, so right here is input send keys. So this is the text that he is putting in the text box. And this send key 1, 2, 3, and 4 probably correlates with the ID get element 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he actually physically submits the form, and then he closes the browser. Um, this is not AI. This is just writing a script that you probably found online somewheres. That's the reason why it says example.com at the very top of the script. So chances are you found this script someplace, and then you just try to adjust it a little bit to make it look like it's ACAT, but in theoretically it's not. There's nothing that he's showing that automatically scans the credit report and then analyzes the negatives and then automatically submits the dispute. There's nothing here that shows this. This is just auto filling a form. And Chrome has this wonderful feature called autofill that will do this for you, actually. And it's quite concerning as well, because the send key here is text. It's not a string. It's not a variable. You know, every credit report, based on how it's being disputed and based on the negative items, are not going to have the same violation counts. It's not going to resort back to the same consumer law. So you're basically, according to this script, is you're basically disputing every single one of your customers with the exact same letter or exact same. I don't want to say letter because it's not a letter. It's more like an online dispute, but with the exact same criteria. You know, you would think that if it's going to analyze the credit report and determine the best way to dispute it, then these send keys would be variables, right? And based on the analytical side of ACAT and based on what it sees, it will determine the variable that it should be using to send key, if that makes sense. Or to break it down, to send or to input in the text box on the form based on the dispute, if that makes sense, on the the analyst of the credit, if that makes sense. But in any event, so he says that it is form element by name violation count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if we go to the exact same URL, TransUnion credit dispute, disputeyourcredit.com, or whatever it is here, if you notice, there is no form at all. In fact, you have a button called Start Dispute for online disputes, but when you click on that, you have to log in. And I didn't see any if statements about logging in or checking logins within the script. Now, I'll give you credit. It's a small little short. Maybe it's in there. But when you log in, you're going to get a session. You're going to get a token. And that physical URL that you're getting is probably going to change. So your script is not going to work. It will fail there. And if you have to log in, go to the website, log in, and then run the script, why don't you just type it, right? Or use Google Chrome autofill. So what's the point of the script? And even if we look at the credit dispute your credit from TransUnion, if we look at the source here, which is basically the get element by ID, if we look for ID violation, right, nothing shows up. Maybe it's by name, right? We can do by name here. Nothing shows up. Now, if we just back it out, obviously we have, name, viewports, name, robots. We have several stuff here. that's by name, search query, but nothing in here that shows violation 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, there's nothing even called out by ID, I don't think. Let's just see here. ID equals, well, there's quite a bit of ID equals. But there's nothing that's, ID. These are div tags, container div tags. But in any event, there's nothing in here that's ID or name violation 1, 2, 3, or 4. So when you go back to the script, in my opinion, based on my analysis here, the script is bullshit. It's fake. It's not going to work. The fact that you have a DOS prompt here at the bottom, for what purpose? So that just ruins the credibility of the script, because that DOS prompt has nothing to do with the script itself. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe he needs to release some more code. But at this point in time, my stance is ACAT is simply fake. This is The Seeker, and I'll speak with you again soon.